We do begin today with the appearance of the top shooting suspect in court as he pleads guilty to state charges. Here's Lauren Hall with the update.
Good afternoon. This hearing wrapped up about 10:40 this morning. It was a lengthy hearing because of the number of charges there were, but as expected, Peyton Gendron reversed his previous not guilty plea and has now pleaded guilty to all 25 state charges stemming from the top shooting on May 14th, and he is facing life in prison without parole when he is sentenced in February. Now, there were no cameras allowed in the courtroom today, so you are looking at file footage here. The now 19-year-old shooter entered the courtroom at 9:48 this morning. He was wearing a short-sleeved orange jumpsuit, black wire glasses. He did not have a mask on his face. He also appeared to have a shorter haircut and a clean-shaven face. Members of the Erie County DA's office laid out their evidence for the charges against him, including domestic terrorism motivated by hate, which has a minimum penalty of life in prison without parole, as well as multiple first-degree murder and second-degree murder charges, as well as a weapons charge. It took about 15 minutes for Judge Susan Egan to go through each specific charge, name each of the victims, and for the defendant to respond with his guilty plea to each one.
He pled guilty to the domestic state terrorism charge motivated by hate. That is a relatively new statute in our penal law that was enacted within the past 10 years. It has never been used before in the state of New York. No individual in the history of the state of New York has been found guilty of that domestic terrorism charge motivated by hate until today. And he pled guilty to that highest charge today.
All of this happened in front of a packed courtroom today. There were members of the victims' families there, as well as lots of media from in town and out of town. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, as well as Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia were also in the front row. We are expecting to hear much more from the families of the 10 people killed and the 3 who were injured later today on Channel 2 News. I'm Lauren Hall reporting outside of the Erie County Courthouse. Now back to you.
Lauren, thank you. And some of those families of those killed and injured did speak with the media after court, and they expressed how they felt about seeing Gendron in court and hearing him admit guilt. Many were upset that cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom.
I was angry how the judge was constantly talking to this gentleman like he was a little prepubescent 6th grade boy. I hate how they show the pictures of how he looked, and then you see him in the courtroom. You see him with a 6th grade, middle school haircut, clean shave, looking real scrawny and nervous.
His voice made me feel sick, but it showed me that I was right in all the times that I've said that this country has a problem. This country is inherently violent. It is racist. And his voice showed that to me today.
Tonight at 5, Claudine Ewing will bring us more from the family's press conference, including comments from National Defense Attorney Ben Crump.